Kyle, what are the lessons you take away from this season that are on the top of your mind?
Ooh. Well, I think on the top of your mind, it's why days like today are so tough, for the fact that you had a disappointing end to the season. And when it's so fresh in your mind, you fail miserably to reflect back on a lot of the positives. And we're through, 2/3 of the exit meetings now, and when you sit with the players, it's the most I've ever seen players have to say in an exit meeting, and their reflection on the year, a lot of it very positive, that stands out in their mind. So it gives you a good opportunity to sit with them and listen to what they thought was excellent about the season, that gets forgotten when you have a disappointing loss like this, for sure.
A year ago, you talked about the need to develop players in a way that helped you build 4 lines and 6 defensemen, no pigeonholing in terms of this guy's a bottom 6, this guy's a top pair. Do you think that you accomplished that this year in terms of how this team was balanced and what you did from bringing it in?
Well, I thought a lot of the guys played many different roles on the team throughout the year. And I think more importantly, Chris, on that is that when our guys went up to the NHL, save for a few of them, they could play anywhere in the lineup for Mike. Brendan Leipzig went up, he started on the 4th line, then the next game he was on the 1st line and played up and down the lineup. And that's even some of the things that the players have said to us today that we've kind of stopped them on is, well, I know if I'm going to get to the NHL, I have to be in the bottom 6. And it's been saying, don't do that. Don't put yourself in that box and think that that's all you're going to be. Allow yourself to dream that you can do anything that you want, because you've shown that you're capable of it already this year. So we want the guys to learn as much as they possibly can here, and then let Mike and his staff make the decision about where they'll fit in his lineup. And our hope is that they're really versatile, and depending on the matchup, he could use them in many different ways.
Because we're a really young team, and a lot of the players stress that youth came in handy at times, and that there was sort of this skill-first mentality. Do you think there's a model that you guys have here that can continue to work moving forward, or is this influx of youth sort of a one and done?
No, I think next year's team will in fact be younger. So I think I'm certain that the organization from top down views the Marlies as a place where we're going to develop players. Now at the same time, we have some older players that I thought really developed this year and have said to us in their exit meetings that this is the most that they've ever developed in a year of hockey. I'm of the mindset that development doesn't have an expiration date, even though conventionally it's viewed as such, that once you get to 24, 25, you're probably, and I think numbers show this, you're past your peak offensively, and maybe you're not so much a prospect anymore. But I think there have been a lot of guys here that have shown that despite the fact that they aren't really prospect age, they can still develop a lot of their skills in a lot of different areas. So for us, in terms of where the team will be next year, a lot will depend on what happens in the draft. And we have a lot of picks, and the scouting staff here has been picking a lot of very good players. Some of those guys will come into the lineup here next year, and then we'll add another batch of draft choices again. So, and we have 12 or 13 draft picks this year with the Leafs. So that means in another year or two, there'll be a whole other batch of young players. So I don't see that method changing.
So does capability for a lot of these guys that are in their 3rd or 4th year give way to opportunity?
I think that the players here have to create and earn their opportunity. And throughout the season, what we saw were a lot of. It was interesting as the guys come in, you kind of harken back to the highs and lows of the year. I remember Zach Hyman just finished his meeting with us, and the first 10, 11 games, I don't know if he had a point or maybe he had an assist, and then he ends up having, if you look at pure development, one of the best years, and he earned that with the way that he conducted himself. He got the absolute most out of every day here. He came in enthused every day, got the most from the development staff that were here and available for him each day. So he earned his opportunity, and we try to put every player in a position, regardless of what capabilities they have or different abilities that they have, to be able to come in and be put in a spot where they can succeed. That's really our main goal as a staff here.
We hear a lot about what a positive environment this is to be a young player and develop, and regardless of age, as you mentioned. As a member of the management group, how do you cultivate that type of positive atmosphere to give people that type of relaxed confidence where they know they can come in and do their best?
I think it's up to the people who are here each day. So to me, if we're going to preach that, I have to live it, and Sheldon has to live that every day. So you have to come in. To me, it's been really easy to set the example to be that way, because it's this year. I don't know that I've ever had a year in my life, maybe the final year I was in Sault Ste. Marie, where it was so easy to be excited and enthusiastic each day. The players, even when we had a lot of guys up and a whole bunch of different group of guys in here, the veteran players that we had here did an excellent job right away getting the players ingrained in the way that we do things, and it made my job so much easier. It was so exciting to come here every day. So when the players see that the management and coaches are so excited to be here each day, they have fun working together, you develop personal communications with the players when they're here and get to know them, know that you care about them, which we genuinely do. It allows for the culture to kind of just happen. I mean, culture is a word that gets used over and over, and it's not my own definition, but I heard someone actually try to define it, which is culture is the sum of all of the individual actions inside of the organization. And when it's always so positive and exciting, and the players know that they're getting better, and they know that what you say in terms of their development is actually what you do, and you're every day trying to maximize their abilities as a hockey player and as a person, I think they see that you mean it, and it makes it real easy to be enthusiastic and excited each day.
Can you balance the disappointment of this moment with the excitement for the future? Yet?
Oh, not yet. I said to the players today that I think what I've learned in my time in sports is that the most disappointing times that people have, whether they're fans or they work for the club, are when they genuinely believe that the team is going to win. Like when you have a genuine belief that the team is going to win and then it suddenly ends, that's what lends itself to the greatest disappointment. So it's hard right now. I mean, I think especially coming off the Albany series, we responded against a team that I think most people thought if they lose, this is the type of team that's going to beat them. It's a big, strong, physical, grinding team. We responded great 2 times in that series, showed resiliency. Coming off of Game 3, which was a huge disappointment, and then losing Game 6 here on home ice, and then having to come back in Game 7 in the third period. Coming off of that series, I thought that only furthered the belief that this team was going to do it, and then to have it crash down so quickly, it's a big disappointment. I think in a week or two, as we reflect on the year that was, we'll have a totally different tone about it, but right now it's a day later, it's still so fresh, it's tough.
I know you put a lot of stock in the relationship with the Solar Bears. How have they helped just this season, especially with all the player flux this year?
They've helped us a lot. I don't know that we've helped them a whole lot. I feel horrible, especially in the second half of the year. Todd would know exactly how many players we used this year. It felt like every day there was somebody being shuttled somewhere, and it's up to Brad Lynn, and then he's communicating with Anthony there. The Solar Bears have been incredible. The players that have come up here have been prepared to play. Anthony and John Snowden completely sacrificed the success of their own team. There were times when they could have said, no, don't bring this guy. We really need him this weekend. I would have said, okay, we'll find somebody somewhere. And they insisted that we take their players. Like, to me, when you're a player at that level, that's what you want, a coach that's always pushing. It doesn't always happen that way there. So we've extended the affiliation there by up to 2 years. Anthony, I don't know how long he's going to be there for. You see his name brought about in a lot of different positions for college or pro. But we certainly value it more than I could probably define right now. But it's been of massive importance for us.